Hi, so it's me again. It's Mrs. Voss. So, remember I said that on the neck, don't cut any of the wire, and this is why. I've decided, as I said before, I have a love-hate relationship with deer, and I think they're very beautiful. So I'm going to use this to help create this. And since the last video, I put another piece of cardboard in here. I have taped it down. You can use tape, but don't use too much tape. I mean, you have to do what you have to do in this case because of the limitations with our being at home and not being in school. So you can use a lot of tape. I also put another piece going up here, and another one down here. A piece meaning one of the cones. Here's a cone, here's a cone, there's another cone here. And I want to talk about the head right now in this one. So I would like to talk a little bit about measuring. So when you measure, you want to measure something in relationship to something else. So I'm going to put this aside. If I took this picture I have here and I want to measure, that's a pretty big head, but I'm not quite sure. And also you have preconceived ideas of what things look like as opposed to what they really are. And I'd like this animal to be fairly proportional. So if I take my pencil, I'm going to take a pencil, and I'm going to measure from the bottom of his body to the top of his body. Then I'm going to take my finger, and you just take your finger and then you hold it right there. I don't know if you can see that, like this. And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to go across once, and I'm going to go across again. This measurement here is almost half of this. So this is twice as wide as it is high here. Also, this measurement here, if you take this one, and you're going to put your finger here, and I'm going to also maybe measure this from the neck here, and this is almost 2.5 of this measurement going this way again, same thing. So let's take the head, for instance. Now the head is from here to here. You see that? Okay, let me put this over here, you can see that better. So from the back of the head to the nose measures here, and I put my finger right there. So I'm going to do the measurement here of the top of the head to the end of the neck. So this equals this. Let's also take this measurement from here to here. We're starting that again, from here to here, and this measurement from the top of the head to the bottom of the front of his body is about almost one. It's almost like 1.25. This measurement with this measurement, and you have to figure out how you're going to do these measurements. I don't have the legs showing in here, and then the ears too. So bearing that in mind, if I go back to here, I already bent this. I kind of took some liberties here, and I am going to probably have to do this again. So if I took this measurement, that's the top of the head to here. Remember I said that? And I said, look at that. It's way too tall. I made a mistake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo this, and I want this measurement, which was 2/3 across, to be about, that head should be right about there, which I didn't think was true, but it is. So I'm going to do this again. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to bend this, and that's going to be my head. And I'm going to take this off like this. And then I'm going to make the face. And remember I said this measurement here is about the same as it is about right there. So this measurement has to be this measurement. So the head is going to be about right. And I'm going to take this. And you know what? If it's not quite right, just change it again. Let's do this. I hope this is about right. I thought it was much higher than that because it was more elegant. But okay, so here, and I'm going to take this, and I am going to stretch this out again. And I'm going to bend this into what I think should be the head. Let's measure that again. So this is going to measure about, that's about right. See here and here? And that same thing was here and here. And that head is bigger than I thought it was. Okay, so I'm going to bend that back. And I also want to make one of the ears. And I picked a doe. I didn't pick a buck that's going to have the antlers. If you want to add antlers on here or something on here, add it on. And if you have a little, or use the end of this. But what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to make an ear out of this. So I'm going to bend this like this, and I'm not going to cut it. I'm just going to leave it like that. So let's bring this up here like this so you can see it. That's better. That's much better. And okay. And then I have this other thing I made because I didn't have enough. And I have this kind of whirly thing that I wanted to make for the other ear. So I'm going to put, I bent this here, I bent the ear here, and then I left this part because I still want to attach it and figure that out. So if I put, I'm going to attach this piece here, and that's the other ear. I'm going to bend that out. And you know what you do? You just keep comparing it and looking at it. Here. And then I'm going to bend this like this. And I'm going to, and you know what? I'm doing this as I go. I want this to be part of the head. And I'm going to attach this piece. I'm going to attach, now I've got this thing, this is the ear. This is the head. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some light on for starters, so it's darker. And I'm going to put this piece right, put this piece, I think, right here. So there's that ear. Here's the other ear, and you can't see this. So I'm going to do this, and I don't expect you to see any of this. So I'm going to take this apart again. So I have, this is from the original piece of wire that I gave you. And then if some of you have extra, some of you don't, I want this to be the ear. This is the length. Remember I said everything had to attach with something else? So I'm going to attach this to here, that ear, and I'm going to wrap there, here. I have the ear. I just tape that on. And I want to now attach this to this. Why? Because it strengthens it. So I'm going to now bend this up. And some of you will be able to do this and some of you won't. And so now it looks, I want to tape this to this. This ear is much longer than the other. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So, okay. And now I'm looking at my proportions. Taking my wire And I'm going to bend it. Bend it. And bend it a real sharp turn. And then it's going to go in. Some of you don't have enough wire to do this. You just don't. And one ear is bigger, but I'm going to compensate that with the paper. So I've got that ear. I have the other ear like this. And I also need to think about that I have this part here. I need to give him a lot more back part here. So I'm going to add some more. I'm going to add more pieces here, and then I'm going to look at the. I have this folded piece of paper that I'm also going to use for the top of the head. So we'll show that one as well. And I apologize if this is not one of my. This is hard to see because this is kind of big. So okay. So I made this a little bit more visible, and this is now the armature with a good part of the torso started. That's this part here. And up to my hold on just a second. Okay, so I wanted to show you the body and the proportions because I think you really have to pay attention to that. This is the deer right now this is based on. And I have the silhouette. I don't have the back view, and I don't really have the feet, but I'm not going to worry about that so much. So what I'm more concerned with is, as I said before, this measurement, this measurement, and this measurement, and the head. And the head looks pretty good. If I had to shorten it a bit, I could. I could very much do that. This is taller and wider than this part. This is also higher. So I'm going to be building up this part of my body more, and I'm also going to probably leave this down. I'm going to have this, keep this, and then build this up a little bit more. I have the tail. This kind of came out weird. I'm going to have to cut that. But those are the things I want to pay attention to. This is nice and round in here. And also remember this thing I measured. I measured this measurement and how many times it fits into the torso, and it's not bad. It was about, if we looked at this again here, here to here, it fit into the body about twice. And I think I may have to take a little bit off of the front than I will have to on the back. But what you have to do is you have to constantly look. You're drawing with shapes. And if you do a portrait or you do an animal, now some of you are going to do this a little differently. I'm going to hang this up right here right now so you can see both. And the ears I may change a bit. But the ears are on there. I'm going to probably cut this piece off because it's just too much wire. And then I have this other one over here, that other piece of wire that's over here. And then I have the face. And I think what I want to do, I said in the proportions of the top part, I want this to crunch in a little bit more. So what I'm going to do in this case is I'm not using one of the cones, but I'm going to pull it in with some pressure on the there's some limitations with this camera as far as placing goes. So I want this to be tighter and shallower than I made it. So I'm going to take this tape and I'm going to pull it really hard so that it pulls up. I'm going to go around here like this, down. I'm going to cut it or tear it because I can't find my scissor right now. And I'm going to pull that here, tape it down really hard, and that already looks better. That's not as high as it is over here. I also have to build this up a bit more. And there are all these things that you have to keep adjusting. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I'm also I want to make this as parallel as I can here. And I'm going to put a little bit more tape. There's a lot of tape on this thing. It's usually not that much. But sometimes that's easier to do. I'm going to pull this in a bit too. And so I'm trying to get this tight torso to look right. Okay, and the next thing I want to do, I want to put this back over here so you can see what I did. And I'm going to make one of these pieces that I showed you from the I'm going to bunch this up really, really tight, like this. And I'm going to bring this back over here. And what I want to do, because I want to work on this part right here, I want to build this section up right here a bit more. I already added some, but I want to add some more. And guess what? I'm out of tape. I have to go get another roll of tape. That's okay. So I'm going to take this. I'm actually even going to cut off a little bit of this. It's too much paper. And cutting this off. I don't want it so bulky. And you can just simply do that. You don't have to you can gauge it. This is just like working with clay, except you're working with paper. And then you're going to put this piece, I'm going to put this piece about right here. And I'm going to put tape here. And I'm going to put some tape on the other side. Sorry, right here. And then I also want to take a couple more, and I'm almost out of them. Take a couple of more of my cones. And I want to put this cone here. So that'll help hold that down and start to help retain that shape that you want, the shape in the original. And this, it takes some doing. And you assess, and if you think you put too much on, take it off. Now, I'm doing what I told you not to do. I don't have any more tape ready. Oops, that's something going on. My husband's putting electricity in the basement. So that's what that noise is. And I'm cutting these pieces off. I've just done that now. And then I'm going to put the cone back here. And I'll put that on. I want to cover that piece that I just put in. I'm going to put more tape here and more tape here. And I want to put a tight piece of tape actually around the head. So what I did is I taped this really strongly right here, And I put another piece here. This is built up a little bit more. And let's put this back over here so you can see the comparison. So now it's starting to get, I raised my camera up. Let's go like this. And that's starting to look a little bit better. I'm going to talk about the head in the next video. I think that the snout of this is a little bit too long, but I'm going to measure it again. I am a great believer in measuring because your eyes, oh, is that right? And I really have to look. And you go back and forth and back and forth. And then the ear, those two ears are over here. I'm going to cut this one off, by the way, because I don't want that much wire on there. So I'm going to cut this off. You can see that piece right there. And because it's too much. And I want to then talk about the face a lot. This can be cut off. It's too long. This is too long. I want that to be shorter. I also have to build up more strength in the legs, and I'm going to do that with cones underneath. But I want to address the head first. Thank you.